Imagine you're at recess and suddenly a game of tag turns into an epic chase across the playground, friends dodging, laughing, and plotting their next move. What if that chaos could become a thrilling story with a beginning, middle, and end that keeps everyone guessing? That's the power of plot. Warmest greetings, aspiring writers. Welcome to Video 9 in the Becoming an Author series, designed to cultivate the storytelling skills of middle school students. This video explores plot creation, the process of shaping a sequence of events into a structured narrative with meaning, transforming a simple story into a compelling plot. Building on previous videos about creating characters and writing dialogue, this video introduces key concepts to help craft stories that captivate readers. It covers story structure, narrative order, character development, conflict resolution, profluence, forward momentum, traditional plot, non-traditional structures, storytelling, chronological narrative, point of view, narrative complexity, reader engagement, and writing techniques. Insights from renowned authors and excerpts from classic literature, with background and analysis, provide guidance. Write this down in your notes. These principles turn everyday events into meaningful plots that keep readers hooked. Prepare to take notes and master the art of plotting. Storytelling, the art of crafting narratives to share experiences or ideas, creates order from the chaos of real life, where events flow without clear structure. Write this down in your notes. A story is a chronological narrative, a sequence of events in time order answering and then what happened, while a plot is a sequence connected by cause and effect, answering why did it happen. Real life lacks neat resolutions, but plot creation imposes meaning by selecting and arranging details. For example, a student might lose a library book, search for it, and find it. As a story, it's a sequence. As a plot, the loss, exposition, background information that sets up the story causes worry, the search builds conflict, and finding it teaches responsibility through conflict resolution, the process of solving the story's main problem. Another example, a student forgets a class presentation, exposition, faces a deadline, conflict, and prepares with a friend's help, resolution, showing teamwork. E.M. Forster, a British author known for novels like A Passage to India that explore human relationships, explained in aspects of the novel, "The king died and then the queen died" is a story. The king died and then the queen died of grief is a plot. This excerpt illustrates how plots add meaning through causality, making events feel purposeful by showing why they occur, unlike a random sequence. Write this down in your notes. Plots use narrative order, the arrangement of events to create meaning, to link events logically. In E.B. White's Charlotte's Web, a 1952 children's novel about a pig named Wilbur who befriends a spider named Charlotte on a farm, where she uses her web to save him from slaughter, the story is Wilbur's farm life, meeting Charlotte, entering the fair. The plot connects these through Wilbur's fear, exposition, Charlotte's web writing, conflict, and her saving him, conflict resolution, showing themes of friendship. This excerpt from Chapter 5, where they first converse, demonstrates character development, the growth and revelation of characters' traits. "What's your name?" asked Wilbur. "My name," said the spider, "is Charlotte." In L. Frank Baum's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, a 1900 children's fantasy novel about Dorothy Gale's journey in the magical land of Oz to return home, the story is Dorothy's travels, landing in Oz, meeting friends, visiting the wizard. The plot links her homesickness, friends' quests, and the witch's opposition, resolving with self-discovery. This excerpt from Chapter 6 shows narrative order. "Follow the yellow brick road," said the Munchkins. It illustrates how the road cause leads to key encounters, effect, structuring the journey meaningfully, enhancing the plot's focus on home and growth. Profluence, the sense of forward movement in a story, and forward momentum, the drive that keeps readers turning pages, are essential for reader engagement, the ability to capture and hold a reader's interest. Write this down in your notes. Profluence can come from plot, what happens next, character development, deeper understanding, world building, or style. John Gardner, an American novelist known for Grendel, defined profluence as the feeling of getting someplace in a story. In J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, a 1997 novel about a boy discovering his wizard heritage, this excerpt from Chapter 6 builds profluence. "You're a wizard, Harry," said Hagrid. The revelation drives Harry's Hogwarts adventures, engaging readers with mysteries, exposition, and the magical world. This illustrates traditional plot, a narrative with a clear beginning, middle, and end, as Harry's journey follows a structured arc, maintaining forward momentum. In E.B. White's Charlotte's Web, profluence arises from emotional connections. Wilbur's friendship with Charlotte pulls readers forward, wondering if she'll save him. From American literature, Lois Lowry's The Giver, a 1993 novel about Jonas in a controlled society, offers in Chapter 2, "You will be trained to receive memories," said the giver. Jonas nodded, uncertain. This builds profluence through Jonas's curiosity, blending plot with narrative complexity, the layered depth that makes stories rich by hinting at societal flaws. The excerpt shows how Jonas's uncertainty engages readers, encouraging them to explore the why behind his world. In Catherine Paterson's Bridge to Terabithia, a 1977 novel about Jess and Leslie's imaginary kingdom, Chapter 4 offers, "We need a secret place," said Jess. "A kingdom," said Leslie. In Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, a 2005 novel about a boy discovering he's a demigod, Chapter 2 offers, "You're in danger," said Mr. Brunner. Percy frowned. This builds profluence through suspense, illustrating reader engagement by making readers wonder about Percy's fate, advancing the plot with mythological stakes. Classic literature shows how plot creation adds depth. In The Wizard of Oz, the story is Dorothy's travels. The plot connects her homesickness, friends' quests, and the witch's conflict, resolving with self-discovery. In Harry Potter, the story is Harry's school year. The plot links Voldemort's threat, Harry's past, exposition, and friendships, resolving in a battle at the end of the book. From British literature, J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, a 1937 novel about Bilbo Baggins's quest with dwarves, offers in Chapter 1, "Good morning," said Bilbo. "What do you mean?" said Gandalf. The story is Bilbo's adventure. The plot links his reluctance to growth, the ring's discovery, exposition, and Smaug's greed, resolving with heroism. This illustrates point of view, the perspective from which a story is told, as Bilbo's third-person view reveals his surprise, advancing the plot through humor and conflict. From American literature, Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, a 1960 novel about Scout Finch navigating racism in the 1930s South, Chapter 1 offers, "Don't you cry, Scout," said Jem. He put his arm around her. The story is Scout's childhood. The plot connects her innocence to societal challenges, exposition via Atticus, resolving in moral growth. This shows conflict resolution through sibling support, enhancing empathy. In Madeleine L'Engle's A Wrinkle in Time, a 1962 novel about Meg Murray's quest to save her father, Chapter 2 offers, "We're going to find father," said Meg. "But how?" said Charles Wallace. The plot links Meg's determination to cosmic conflicts, illustrating narrative complexity. In Frances Hodgson Burnett's The Secret Garden, a 1911 novel about Mary Lennox's transformation, Chapter 1 offers, "Nobody wants me," said Mary. "You'll find your place," said Mrs. Medlock. The plot transforms Mary's loneliness, showing character development. In Louis Sachar's Holes, a 1998 novel about Stanley Yelnats uncovering a family curse, Chapter 7 offers, "Dig faster," said the warden. Stanley kept digging. The plot connects punishment to secrets, illustrating forward momentum. In Roald Dahl's Matilda, a a 1988 novel about a gifted girl, Chapter 1 offers, "You're a reader," said Miss Honey. Matilda nodded. This shows reader engagement through Matilda's strength. In L.M. Montgomery's Anne of Green Gables, a 1908 novel about an orphan's new home, Chapter 2 offers, "I'm glad to be here," said Anne. "It's a start," said Marilla. This illustrates character development as Anne's optimism shapes the plot. In Ellen Raskin's The Westing Game, a 1978 mystery novel about heirs solving a millionaire's puzzle, Chapter 4 offers, "Rid the will again," said Turtle. "There's a clue," said Theo. This illustrates non-traditional structures, narratives that deviate from linear timelines, by using a mystery-driven plot with shifting perspectives. Write this down in your notes. Exposition in plots reveals backstory naturally, enhancing reader engagement. Narrative balance, the harmonious blend of plot, characters, dialogue, and description, ensures cohesive story structure, the framework that organizes a narrative's events. Write this down in your notes. A balanced plot uses events to reveal character and maintain profluence. In Charlotte's Web, the plot balances with Charlotte's dialogue and web descriptions. In The Giver, Jonas's training balances with memory thoughts. From British literature, C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, a 1950 novel about siblings in Narnia, Chapter 2 offers, "What's that noise?" said Lucy. "Just the wind," said Edmund. This balances dialogue with action, building tension, illustrating narrative complexity. Stephen King, known for horror novels like It, noted, "Good dialogue is a delight to read. Bad dialogue is deadly." Balance dialogue with action. "I found the clue," said Mia, running to Ben. Practice balancing a school plot. Mia loses a book, plot, worries, character, and discusses with Ben, dialogue, resolving naturally. In Matilda, Miss Honey's encouragement balances with Matilda's growth, showing conflict resolution. Over-relying on plot can feel mechanical. Balance ensures narrative complexity. The Freytag Pyramid, a writing technique for structuring narratives, organizes traditional plots into 5 parts: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and denouement. Write this down in your notes. The Freytag Pyramid provides a blueprint for balanced plots. In The Wizard of Oz, exposition introduces Dorothy's Kansas life. Rising action is the Oz journey. Climax is confronting the witch. Falling action is the wizard's reveal. Denouement is Dorothy's return. In Harry Potter, exposition sets Harry's world. Rising action builds mysteries. Climax is the stone confrontation. Falling action resolves friendships. Denouement ties loose ends. In The Outsiders, Chapter 4, "We gotta get out," said Johnny. The plot follows the Freytag structure, illustrating forward momentum through urgency. Practice mapping a school story, losing a book, exposition, searching, rising action, finding it, climax, reuniting with a friend, falling action, learning, responsibility, denouement. Non-traditional structures, narratives that deviate from linear timelines, use complex point of view or jumbled timelines for narrative complexity. In The Outsiders, Ponyboy narrates, "I'm not like them," I said to myself. The story is linear, but the plot shifts through reflections, adding depth. In The Giver, memory flashbacks provide exposition out of order. In Bridge to Terabithia, Jess's reflections shift timelines. In The Westing Game, the mystery-driven plot uses multiple perspectives, enhancing complexity. Practice with a school story. Start with finding a lost book. Flashback to losing it. Write this down in your notes. Non-traditional structures create profluence through varied perspectives. To master plot creation, you should engage in a plot exercise using writing techniques. Outline a simple story, then transform it into a plot with cause and effect. Steps: basic story, list chronological events. Example, a student loses a book, searches, finds it. Add cause and effect, link events. Example, losing the book, exposition, causes worry, searching builds conflict, finding it resolves the issue. Exposition, add backstory. Example, the book was a library loan due tomorrow. Build profluence, ensure momentum. Example, clues during the search keep readers curious. Balance elements, add dialogue and action. Example, "Where's my book?" cried Mia. Ben helped search, hoping to save the day. Analyze how the plot adds meaning. Additional sample exercises. Map Charlotte's Web, story, farm events, plot, Wilbur's survival. Outline a school adventure, finding a lost book using the Freytag pyramid. Transform a class trip, trip goes wrong, exposition, teamwork fixes it. Compare the Wizard of Oz story to plot. Create a friendship plot. "Let's work together," said Mia. Apply Forster's distinction to a favorite book. Rearrange a story's events on cards to explore non-traditional structures. Write a school fair plot. Planning fails, teamwork saves it. Outline a club event. A debate resolves through compromise. Create a mystery plot. A missing trophy leads to teamwork. Develop a library event. A book hunt builds friendships. Plan a science project. A failed experiment teaches collaboration. Create a school mural plot. Design disagreements resolved through creativity. Organize a talent show. Planning challenges lead to teamwork. Solve a classroom puzzle. A riddle sparks collaboration. Plan a book drive. Collecting books builds community. Create a school newspaper project. A deadline crisis fosters teamwork. Organize a classroom treasure hunt. A hidden prize teaches collaboration. This exercise reinforces plotting as imposing order, inspired by Forster's ideas. Video 9 has explored plot creation, distinguishing chronological narrative from plot using narrative order, character development, and conflict resolution. Profluence and forward momentum ensure reader engagement, as seen in Charlotte's Web and Harry Potter. The Freytag pyramid structures traditional plots, while non-traditional structures add narrative complexity via point of view. Remember this: plots transform chaos into meaningful tales. Use cause and effect, balance elements, and practice the plot exercise to refine writing techniques. Plotting brings stories to life with purpose. Keep your pencils sharp, your mind open, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.